What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 41 of my Total Warhammer 3 modded Belegar Ironhammer campaign. I was looking at Thorek and I was about to say Thorek campaign, but yes, Thorek has now joined our side, the Master Rune Lord and his quarrelers and his old ways and his general grumbling about everything, much more than any other grumbling Longbeard. Anyway, we have all this new territory from the acquisition of the new faction, but as soon as Skarbrand was no longer at war with Thorek, then Skarbrand decided to immediately declare war on us, which is pretty interesting. And we're gonna see how he reacts, as in where will he go? He has quite the border with us at the current time, and he has a lot of directions to choose from, though granted he is also at war with Khemri to the south, and with the Cult of Sigmar, obviously there's the anti-player bias, which should probably come into effect fairly soon. I do imagine that Krad Tommen will probably fall, most likely because we can't get to it in time, but we'll see. I was also thinking of sending Thorek out there, but at the same time, we should probably take the opportunity to destroy Imrik while we're here. We're kind of in a good position to do so. I also really don't like how the Eyebiter ogres are holding the Darkhold, which is a territory that we should hold. If only we could somehow get them to fight Imrik, and then Imrik to capture this, and then we kill Imrik. But we're not at war with Imrik, so we can't get him to join. Well, whatever. Shame. Now, we got a few things to do, not a lot in the way of army moving, but Thorgrim is getting most of his troops now, so let's get him his Longbeards at the very least, which are going to pop into this army. We are going to take from Thorgrim. Well, he doesn't need these melee troops anymore. I'm not sure that he needs quarrelers. Technically, he's not going to be using any kind of range at all. He's going for all melee plus massive amounts of artillery. I guess the question right now is, do we have enough artillery that we could get him in a short time in order to actually max out his army? Because like this, he's only at 14 out of 20. 15 if we count the extra unit of hammerers that we're going to get his Regiment of Renown. Then 16 if we count the second Thane that he needs. And probably at least one engineer. 17. Yeah, it's not so bad. And just get a few more artillery pieces. Alright, I guess we're going to do that then. Like so, please. And there you go. Our first army with Longbeards. And our first army with Fire Rain, Hellstorm rocket batteries, I mean, every time. Gonna put those in there. Very nice, and then we'll get a few more artillery pieces from him. He's not gonna be keeping the bolt throwers, he doesn't really need them, but, actually now I'm thinking, what if we transfer the bolt throwers? Let me think about this. So what we could do is take the bolt throwers out of this army and give them to Thorek, or we could do the same thing with the grudge throwers. I just feel like we don't want to overuse these artillery types with Thorgrim's army, as he can use other artillery pieces, whereas Thorek is basically pigeonholed into spamming these artillery pieces in particular. So we could transfer those to him instead. Maybe we'll do that. Bernoth Grundadrak, you are fairly decent in the way of being a constructor. And I guess you could travel southward to do that. Alright, so here's what we'll do then. You're gonna take this, and you're gonna take these units from Thorgrim. You are also going to take the quarrelers and give those to Thorgrim as well. If you're gonna go down there anyway, you might as well. Then, what we also need to do is move our gyrocopters, and we will build more, but in a little bit. So what we'll do is put you into march stance. Wait, do we need to build anything here? No, not right now. Do we need to build anything here, though? Wait. Recruiter Scaff Hogmog, do you have a stonemason? Yes, you do. So if we put you here, and we put these guys here as well, like so, just for a turn, mind you. Like so. There we go. Then, we put these guys here as well, and that should be a considerable reduction in what the cost is here. Yeah, it's not so bad. Could be less, but, you know, worth building right now. And there we go, and Varenka Hills, you may as well get your furs as well. Beautiful. And these guys will move to somewhere else. We also want to head out to Forest of Gloom, so you're going to go here, and you're going to go here, and you're going to go here. It's a little bit annoying, but once we build up our interior territories, this will be a lot less required. Oh wow, the Dwarf Keep isn't free. Well, that's just disappointing. Yeah, I guess we'll still build it, though. Just because I don't feel like sending anybody else out here for quite the while, I imagine. Engineers come back. We're still going to be milling engineers for a while, I imagine, and then you gyrocopters head up to where you need to head up to. Oh, we can build some stuff here. I guess we can move these guys up here instead for a turn. It's not like we really need them at Eckendorf. Yeah, that works. Alrighty, nice. Now, in terms of this, I don't think we need the Slayer Shrine anymore. At least we don't need it here. We'll probably build it in a couple of other territories, but Kazakit-HA will be making a decent amount of cash, and we need to make room for several buildings, including the Throne Hall and the Kazakit-HA airfield. So, yeah, we have a limited amount of space to build that. So we'll build the construction cost reduction thing here. And money making, whatever it's called. Alright, that looks pretty decent. What's the cost of building stuff here right now? It's 1575. We could get it cheaper next turn if we don't move anybody further away, which we, I believe, can't do so anyway. Minus Durgrim, but he's waiting for a couple of gyrocopters anyway. Though, if he's going to get a couple gyrocopters, he can lose a couple of the Thunderers then. As he would otherwise have too many anyway. So he can transfer them. Let's see, wait, to who? I guess we can give them to you for now. These guys are going to be transferred to a bunch of different armies, like so. We do still need to transfer the Iron Drakes with Trollhammer torpedoes to Explosion Man here, together with a bunch of these gyrocopters. Alright, everything's looking pretty good. You just wait here and mount Squighorn, I guess. No, don't go into Valea's Will or anything like that. Until you get the, until the gyrocopters can get here. There we go, and at least this way your army won't be as expensive. And then we can move you out into the Darklands. And yeah, I guess we could have done so and jumped here to fight Imrik and stuff, but we can do so in a couple turns anyway. It's not gonna make that much of a difference. Okie dokie, now, a little bit of admin, I know, but kind of necessary. We got a bunch of new armies on the way, and ooh, yes, we got more buildings to build here before I forget. So 590, not so bad. 590, Sumpit should be free, and indeed it is. You guys are now heading out. Probably not. Well, actually, Karak Draj will need reductions next turn for a number of things. That's nice. All right, and ooh, look at that, 4,000 gold per turn. It's making me think that later on we'll probably want to replace the Aircool here just to reduce the income reduction that it does. Oh, Aircool also increases hammer capacity though, which ain't too bad. But yeah, if the place is going to make insane amounts of cash, it's not needed. In fact, we could build an Aircool at Karak Eight Peaks because it won't be making as much money anyway. Alright, well, either way, since you guys are no longer needed here, unless I'm mistaken, nothing to be upgraded next turn, well, with the possible exception of the Karak Azul building. No, wait, that'll be in 3 turns. Which means you're safe to move. Alright, well, let's go out here. 2 Karak Draj. And Karak Draj, and then past this, we'll abandon Karak Azul here for a little bit. Oh, look at all those buffs. And then we're gonna head you guys out to here, because there's a bunch of stuff that'll be needed to be upgraded here as well. Alrighty. Move, move, move. You got more stuff to build, more economy to get up and running. I'd really love to get us to 20,000 gold as fast as possible, though this will drop next turn because we're building like 20 new troops right now. Lastly, you two, you have debuffed or buffed this. Let's get you down to Angrund town, which is where you'll go next, like so. On this way, do we need you to get to Crooked Fang Fort? We should start moving over here. Okay, I guess everybody here is moving to Crooked Fang Fort then. So you can pass through this territory, right? You don't need to be a Doc Karaz for a while. Though I guess we could upgrade the Hunting Lodge next turn and arrive here at the same time. Yeah, fine, we'll do that. We'll do that. Alrighty, and I believe that's everybody. We can save a little bit of cash for next turn. I just want to do a few things. Retinue, you're good. We have moved all the heroes, but we have not necessarily built everything that needs to be built here in Mount Arachnos. Definitely want to upgrade that gold mine, and yes, it's expensive, but we don't have an easy way to reduce it anyway. I'm a little bit concerned about the fact that Karak Zorn does not have a defensive structure, though. And I'm kind of on the fence about keeping the barracks here. Maybe we delete it and then replace it with a defensive structure. Because if Scarby moves this way, yeah, it's a long shot, he'd have to travel far, but I've definitely seen the AI do it before. We'll give it some time, but then we might do it. It's not super critical right now. Honestly, it's not super critical that we change anything here to a crazy amount. Let's build the exotic animal tamer just for additional public order. And I guess we can start on the deep mine as well, or the scrat mine. And there we go, that's all the money we have. Not much in the way of reductions, but, you know, have to build here as best we can. Now we can skip hero and, I believe, end the turn. And see what exactly Scarby does, and then continue with our new armies. Lovely. Do we need Diplo? I don't think we need Diplo. I think we did it last time, so end the turn. Alright, grudge removed. Good. Gold Tooth. You want military access, which is kind of interesting. 115 money. I guess we can take the 115 money. Dwarfs know their worth, damn it. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a few ogre units that I would like to have. See, the problem with Greasus, the big problem with Greasus, is that the Mountains of Morn that he occupies are a fantastic territory. It is so rich. Lots of mountain holds with tons of resources. And, oh, well, that ain't great. Khemri's gonna attack Cult of Sigmar. Yeah, damn, as soon as we took Thorak out, it essentially completely disrupted the balance of power in the region, which means now we're fighting Khemri and Scarby, which means we definitely do need to destroy that defensive structure, or that barracks, and replace it with a defensive structure, as Khemri will be coming down. Alright, I see enemy heroes moving in as well. We probably want to send a scout out into Scarbrand's territory so that we don't get any nasty surprises. Alright, grudge removed, lovely. Ally begins outpost construction. Ambusher discovered Azag. Oh. Well. Why are you out here? And we got Ray's dead coming in on the remnants of Sylvania's... Wait, how are you alive? Huh, I guess being in raiding stance allows him to... bypass the attrition he gets normally from being at the end of his... ooh, an archivist. From being without settlements, right? Yeah. Alrighty, now there's several things... Oh, damn, I was gonna raid Essen. We still have to raid it. I mean, I guess we could hold on to this grudge for a while, for like a long time, and then raid Essen some other day. Just because it'll eventually be a celebratory grudge because it lasts so long. I guess we can do that. Just sort of save a grudge in that manner, especially since it's such an easy one to move away. Now, Darkhold camp. Man, how are we gonna take Darkhold? Hopefully we can trade it somehow. We shall see. Alrighty, Belegar, what we want you to do... It looks like the Gates of Zar are free, which means we can move up to it with Fimber and have Fimber take... What is this? Okay, no, it's just a little rebellious army. Fimber should be able to handle it. Yeah, you cast those runes. Those explosive runes. You, Terror of Gorgoth, are also going to need structures to be built. They're probably going to be a little bit too expensive, though. That's not bad. Single scrap mine. Actually, the public order here is going to be problematic, so maybe we start with the refectory. Yeah, fine. Alright, then, Belegar, we're gonna send you either an underway stance. Yeah, it's probably better to go underway stance. Don't heal as much as I'd like, but I want you in range of Imric. His army's nothing crazy. He does have a lot of elven archers, but our rangers are much superior anyway, so not a big deal. We do want to apply that archivist to somebody who doesn't currently have one, though, before I forget. Thorgrim. One of your guys don't have an archivist? You do not. Ancillaries, archivist. And just out of curiosity, just double check the students that we don't have a student that isn't applied on anybody. No, we're good. Just out of curiosity, what are we at here? 370. Not so bad. Really want to get these things down to a tier 2, and then we'll pick the next thing in a bit. I just want to make sure that we... Let's also move you guys. Yes? Wait, 1 second. Do we move you back just for this? Just for a tiny reduction? Maybe not. Let's move you guys back instead, like so. Alright, then we'll build this. Yeah, 730, it's not so bad. Then you guys are gonna move up to Kazakit-HA, like so.
What can I do? I'll take the high road.
Yeah, you take the high road. Yes, you are able to reach Durgrim here. Good. Go to him. Away you go. And that means Durgrim will be able to move out. Yes, he's still missing an engineer, but, you know, who knows when we'll actually get a good one out of the thing. We'll get you a brimstone gun. A couple of them. I mean, yeah, I want all 4 types of gyrocopters in the other army, so I think this'll work decently. Kind of a neat army. You then are going to... Can you jump anywhere? No. Oh well, you're gonna stay here and then we'll move. Recruiter Scav Hogmog, you're gonna do 2 things. You're going to transfer to, let's say, Kazran here. Yeah. Alright, Kazran, you are gonna take this stuff. And then you're going to carry those Iron Drakes and all those gyrocopters to Fimber. Whereas Scav is gonna return instead to here and recruit more gyrocopters. We got more gyrocopters to use, especially since they're quite nice in SFO. Then Burnoff, you can move in a few seconds. We need to probably reduce upkeep costs, but I also want to see if we can't find a battle right now. What do we got here? You know what, let's delete this right now. We'll place it with a defensive structure. Alright, Karagarud. We are going to need to defend you. Let's put you, Savannah, here. You might move to Karak or Granite Massif, rather.
A wise direction.
And we gotta see where Scarby is. Ugh, it's making me very nervous. You have a bunch of miners to help defend Karak, so maybe you can hold, but who knows. Alaric now has some troops, but certainly no battle. Ah, yes, there is a battle, though. Grimly. You, my friend, have arrived at Sartosa, and once we take Sartosa with you, we should be able to move out and take the... Ooh, Skull Island. Start attacking the exiles. We got a lot of territory. I guess we can start with Granti Mingle, although maybe move to Argalis first, but yes. Take out Sartosa, please.
Ready access.
Alrighty, Valiant defeat you, sir. Well, there's certainly some concerning stuff here. And, oh, Ruinous is back. Yeah, I am very concerned about the Great Shot and the Zufbar 42-pounders. Also, how dare they use an ability that we have. And then there's the Sirens. Nobody here has magic damage, and we don't have a Lichbone Pendant. We need to borrow a Lichbone Pendant. Or some kind of magical weapon. Somebody that can do magical damage. We just need one. What would we remove out of here? I guess we could remove the Stonemason. You're not usually in places where you need to build stuff. Where are our Lichbone Pendants? Oh, we just have the one. Currently on Cazador Dragonslayer, who did need it, but hopefully no longer does. You could keep the Dwarven Tattooist for now. There we go, that should make this doable. You also have a couple points to apply. You have Tradition and Innovation, Rally, and yes, Stand Your Grounds, get you Dowie Firepower, I believe. Honestly, nobody really benefits from any of this right now, but yeah. Dowie Firepower for now, Stand Your Ground, then we'll go for Morgrim's Favored right afterwards as well. Yeah, this does include Rangers. Alright, and then you, Engineer, you've reached rank 10, which gives you the Zufbar 42-pounders. So they'll be using Zufbar 42-pounders, and we will as well. Might as well pop another point into it. At least this way we both have them. This isn't magical damage, is it? Nah, it just looks like straight-up physical armor piercing. That's fine. Alrighty, time to break Sartosa. Yeah, they'll still have Argalis, but that's not gonna be enough. Alrighty, and let's pop the Lichbone Pendant on one of the high-rank Rangers. Just gotta try to make sure that the enemy doesn't destroy them. Away we go.
Obey me!
Alrighty, here we go. You know, it's been quite a while since I've seen the battle map for Sartosa, which is quite nice. It's got a lot of extra little details. Got all these ships all over the place, some sunken into the harbor. Nah, look at all these ship details. Too bad we don't have ship combat. But anyway, the rest of the map looks pretty nice as well. You guys already know, I'm sure, I do love my vampire architecture, and it does have it in spades. And now we even got little balefire things burning atop the various towers here, and nice as well. Now, one aspect of not knowing much or not using this map nearly as much as I don't remember where the best place to assault it from is, and it was a 50-50 shot as to whether it was this one or this one, as to attack this gate or this gate, just based on the fact that there are only 2 towers at each. Unfortunately, I picked the wrong one. It is this place that you should be attacking at, and not this one. Why? There's 2 quite big annoyances. First of all, the enemy has a mortar hidden behind this massive structure here. The mortar obviously doesn't care about that and can fire over, but our artillery pieces can do nothing about that. So our troops will be vulnerable to mortar fire for as long as that mortar hides behind here, and the AI does love to hide mortars on the, or even artillery in general, on supply locations like this. The other annoying aspect is this: there's also an arcing magic tower here, once again impossible to reach with the type of artillery that we have, and also hidden completely behind these massive structures. So the only way to destroy these 2 will be to breach the walls, move in, and actually kill them directly with our archers, or our rangers rather, which of course is going to take some time to do. Now, we've destroyed the enemy 2 towers. Just going to speed it up a little bit as we make our way through the wall here. The bolt throwers are not particularly good at actually damaging walls, and oh wow, look at that accuracy. At least they're all hitting in more or less the same place, but yeah, not so great at breaching walls, but really there isn't much for a bolt thrower to do in these kind of sieges, as they can't really arc over walls that well anyway. Anyway, we finally moved up our rangers so we can slow it back down and watch them begin the quarrel reign. Just gonna soften up the enemy targets a little bit, or as much as we can, and wait for this breach in the walls to happen, as we don't want to go through only one single area. In addition to that, we also only have 2 melee troops, but it would be nice to be able to cover both of the entrance points to the enemy city. We're really banking on trying to destroy this wall here quicker. Not the tower, but the wall, because there is a unit of sirens up here, and the 2 units of sirens are going to be such an issue for us, as we completely lack magical damage, with the exception of that 1 unit with the Lichbone standard. Or let the Lichbone Pennant? Whatever, doesn't matter. And there we go. The towers and the mortars are beginning to fire down upon us, so we're going to have to work for this victory, as we can't reach them. Fortunately, we are doing quite a bit of damage to the enemy, well, at least the various enemy infantry, if not the enemy towers and enemy artillery. And how's that wall looking? Looks like the sirens do manage to get off the wall in time. There is still a vampire fleet captain up here, so maybe we can knock at least one of them out. Now this one's kind of running around up here. Oh, please don't get off the wall, come on. Knock down that tower. I'm getting a few more hits in there. 454 HP. Man, this wall is taking forever to go down, and yes, it will finally collapse with the vampire captain still up there, and we will thus fall to their doom. Looks like they're walking on air. Down you go. Alrighty, well, at least that's 1 unit deleted. In fact, wait, where's the second vampire fleet captain? I see the sirens. Could the second one also have died? It would be swell if that was indeed the case. Kind of hard to tell, though. Yeah, I think the second one also died. Well, lovely. At least we got that, though obviously we've started to take damage. A few of our units of rangers have lost about 1/3 of their HP, and I'm sure that's going to increase as we go. Otherwise, we brought up the Dwarf Warriors, and the Grumbling Guard are moving in to help out as well. And then we'll be moving into the city with Grimly and the melee units, while of course all of our rangers continue their fire. You got all of the sunbeams coming through the darkness of the vampire maps. Alright, here come the Dwarf Warriors. Remember, this is a basic unit, tier 1 after all, so it is obviously going to be very much in danger of anybody attacking it. But we're still in the relatively early game, pushing on towards mid-game, so, I mean, it's not super surprising that we're still making use of Dwarf Warriors, though now we do have access to Longbeards, and we'll be replacing the Dwarf Warriors in most armies with such. Alright, and here come the Grumbling Guard moving in as well. We also have Grimly fighting in here somewhere and just quacking away. He's a pretty good lord, 67-61 on those melee attack and defense, although we will be buffing him up further as we go throughout this campaign. We also do have the Horn of the Ancestors on Grimly, which we are saving for this. The Sirens are going to move in, and we're going to summon the Ghosty to help out with that. Alright, there we go. Ancestor Spirit, who does have magical damage. We'll need every bit of magical damage that we can get, and it'll be specifically targeting those Sirens. Kind of hard to get a nice camera shot here, unfortunately, but what can you do? Otherwise, like the walls. Yeah, you can't move the camera towards the gate enough. Can't quite see what's going on. But oh well. Fortunately, we do have that second breach in the wall, and we'll be moving in here and firing on the enemy units outside the gate, though this will make any units that move through that breach susceptible to additional fire from the tower, from the mortar, and from any units that actually try to stop them from moving into the enemy settlement. It does look like the enemy blobbed up pretty much all of its units around the gate directly, ignoring the breach in their walls. But I feel like this is relatively typical for AI behavior. Now, just saw a couple of those Sirens going down. And our Ancestors still fighting in the middle of all this. And Zufbar 42-pounders coming in to damage the enemy a little bit, but basically no damage to the Sirens. Also got to remember that Sirens do have the recovery trait, so if you don't damage them enough, they'll just heal up over time. And when you don't have a lot of magic, in fact, when you don't have any magic, and very little magical damage as well, these guys can be a very, very strong unit. Alrighty, fortunately though, we do have Rangers now moving into the city. This is not yet the magical damage one, but it will be moving in very, very soon as well. And just got to try to establish a secondary beachhead, since the gate is still taking a while to do same. Alrighty, and let's see, the enemy mortar is still out there, though it looks like we can now, or at least we could for a few seconds, get a few shots off on it with our grudge thrower maybe, or was it those Zufbar 42-pounders? I don't remember. At the end of the day, we can't do either thing anymore, so it'll have to be our Rangers that deal with it once again, and they establish their proper beachhead. Ooh, and there's the mortar fire. This is gonna hurt. It's certainly not Belegar's army. We don't have the Ultra Command Squad to just destroy everything, regardless of the lack of melee troops in that army. And it looks like the enemy is going to react to the breach in the walls by sending some Rotting Prometheans in to fight the Rangers there, especially with the cover of the mortar fire. In addition to that, obviously these guys are not nearly as buffed, and by these guys I mean our Rangers, are not nearly as buffed here as they are in Belegar's army, so they're not going to stand quite as long. Though on the bright side, we do still have plenty of Rangers outside of the walls, and we're getting plenty of support on those Rotting Prometheans. Looking like a fairly nice battle so far. All the arrows coming down, the dead trees everywhere, little fires all over the place. From a cinematic perspective, I'm absolutely loving this battle. And down goes the last of the Rotting Prometheans, but our Rangers are very much in trouble. Down to about a third of their HP and now getting mobbed by a zombie pirate deckhands mob. We did move the other two Rangers in, and the Rangers with magical damage are now firing directly into the Sirens, though taking shots themselves from this unit of handgunners, rather. Handguns, okay, yeah. And yeah, they're firing right back. Maybe it would be better to destroy the handguns and then proceed to the Sirens, but I'd really like the Sirens to start disintegrating. On the bright side, though, it does look like the Depth Guard here are beginning to disintegrate. I believe our Dwarf Warriors are pretty much done, but the Grumbling Guard look like they're holding, and our Ancestor Spirit and Grimly are both more or less fine. We will break through this gateway eventually. Alright, and keep firing. Maybe few focus on those handgunners from the outside while the rest of our dwarf units move in. Just gotta try to block the enemy units here. And see, one of our units here, the Rangers, this was the ranger unit that got badly damaged. It decided to rout, but rather than routing like this and running through the breach right beside them, they decided, no, we're gonna run this way. We're gonna run where the handgunners can shoot us and where we can get mobbed by rotting Prometheans and continue taking damage from the magical tower. Too bad we didn't have entrenchment up, or I would have stopped them in their tracks, but yeah, I don't know why this unit is so stupid. And now it's not even trying to go through the breach, it's going to... Are you kidding me? What are you doing? Look at these idiots! And they're just going to run right into that, and all the handgunners are gonna smash into them. Why wouldn't they go for the open frickin' breach to try to rout? They'd rather move through this pile of enemies. Yeah, okay, well this unit's obviously gonna get itself killed. But frankly, if they're this dumb, maybe they deserve it. Alrighty, on the bright side, though, it looks like we're making our way. One of the sirens has begun to crumble apart. The other one's at about a third, maybe 25% of its HP. We're also now finally firing on the enemy mortars here over this damn wall that's been protecting them this entire time. They are, of course, firing back, but we have much more rangers than they have mortars, so we should be able to knock the unit out relatively shortly. Alright, come on. You don't need to see what you're firing at because the mortars aren't gonna shoot and scoot, so you know where those shots are coming from. And with judicious application of quarrels to them, we will be able to bring down their crews. Beautiful. Alrighty, finally that mortar out of the picture, but it did achieve a lot of kills and quite a bit of damage as well. Next, with the mortar destroyed, we need to move up and destroy this damn tower that's been firing at us at the same time. I dread to see how much damage it has done, but the game doesn't display those statistics. Also, it looks like we're finally making our way through the breach here. It looks like our Grumbling Guard have finally begun to outnumber, or at least even number, the enemies here, and that will be outnumber very shortly as the rest of the enemies blocking the gate disintegrate. There we go. Get those last sirens out of the way, please. And of course the sirens were also applying their debuffs to us this entire time. There we go. Ancestral Sword down to half HP, and actually, out of curiosity, 5.5k damage and nearly 60 kills. Quite respectable for a summoned unit from an item. Certainly has some use here. I'm still very tempted to put it into Belegar's army just to, you know, be with the rest of the ghost pals, but I don't know. It can be quite useful in other armies, even if it feels like it belongs in Belegar's. Anyway, here we go. We got more units moving in, but more of our rangers moving in as well. Some animated hulks are going to drop on by, and they're going to be doing a lot of damage to any melee unit of rangers. Although on the bright side, they are going to get focused down by pretty much all of the range fire that we have ourselves. Not a lot in the way of artillery, as they haven't been really doing much, if anything, in this particular battle. But that's okay. Actually, I just think I saw a couple of shots come in from the artillery pieces. Alright, you go, animated hulks. Now, this is really some nice cinematic shots in this particular battle, I gotta say. And there's the Ghosty helping out against the animated hulks, but it looks like the rest of them will drop. Our Grumbling Guard are also going to move in to fight some more zombos that are moved to block their way. Grumbling Guard tried to charge in to bail out the rangers that were fighting the hulks, but the zombos, rightly so I might add, did get in our way, so good job to the AI for the countercharge. And Grimly, of course, right in the center of all of his melee units, bonking away with that big old hammer. Alright, well done, buddy. And man, they still have more monstrous infantry. Where that came from, we got a rotting Promethean and gunnery mob crabbing on in. But we're obviously also going to target these guys. Man, you gotta love the rotting Promethean gunnery mobs, though. They're such a fun unit to use. I'm excited for the next time I get to play the on the Vampire Coast. But I do have a bit of a bias for vampires. Alrighty. Looks like the rotting Promethean gunnery mob's in bad shape. Crabby Boy's going down. And we got our Dwarf Warriors and Rangers coming back in as well. just to help out. These Rangers are actually moving into melee because they've finally run out of ammunition. Of course, we do have restock on one of our one engineer in this particular army, but that's not enough to keep everybody nice and stocked up. We're also moving our artillery pieces in. The grudge throwers have actually run out of ammunition, but the bolt throwers have moved in to the settlement. One of the decent things about the bolt throwers is that they are a fairly quick-moving artillery piece at, let's see, at 30 speed, so they're basically at standard infantry speed, which is 28 to 32, and in fact, a tiny bit faster than some types of infantry. Slower than Rangers, mind you, but, you know, Rangers are fairly fast for Dwarfs. Alrighty, still more enemy zombos blocking our way, but the enemy is now running out of troops. The balance of power is still quite even, and both us and they have lost quite a few units. And I do imagine that the balance of power is this way because, as we can see, a lot of our units are either out of ammunition or starting to run out. And on top of that, there are a lot of them that are badly damaged as well. But still, Grimly's still full HP. He still has his own personal ghost pal. And we do still have the Grumbling Guard to lead the charge. Plus, of course, these are Rangers. They are dwarf range units, and they are decent in melee. So it's not like we're out of troops. I didn't expect Sartosa to be such an epic fight, but I am very much enjoying it. Alrighty, and it looks like we're done with that mob. There's still a Mourngul Haunter back there, and Aranessa herself, together with another zombie pirate deckhands mob, and another deckhands mob moving in to try to intercept our bolt throwers, which we're finally getting a few shots off. We're gonna charge into the back of these deckhands mobs with our ghosty, and get a few more units to reinforce. Fortunately, the deckhands mobs are too slow to just outright kill the bolt throwers. I was really hoping to set the bolt throwers up here so that they could fire on Aranessa, who was up there, but oh well. And speaking of Aranessa, it looks like she and her relatively paltry command squad are moving in. Ah, you gotta love Mourngul Haunters, though. They're such a fun hero. And they're so damn effective. You really gotta love Mourngul Haunters as a generalist sort of hero. They have a lot of physical resistance, they have a lot of damage reduction, they have a lot of damage and can both blend infantry and assassinate other heroes and lords quite well. Alright, not much to say. The battle will be decided here by the looks of it. Mourngul Haunters moved in and Aranessa has as well, but Grimly and the Ghosty are going to try to counter her. And a nice little bit of a duel between them while the rest of our units deal with the Mourngul Haunter. We are trying to also move in a few of our remaining Rangers that still have a tiny bit of ammunition in, and our bolt throwers are trying to take position where they could fire on Aranessa. Well, it looks like the Mourngul Haunter is in somewhat bad shape, and in fact, Aranessa is as well. The army is looking like it's about to shatter. Hey, there we go, get some bolt thrower shots in. Shouldn't have run this way, and that looks like that'll see Aranessa rout and the rest of the army and do the same and begin to crumble away. Beautiful. The battle is ours, though we do still have to destroy the Mourngul Haunter and the remnants of the enemy troops here, so we might as well watch this. I don't imagine that Aranessa is going to come back, so we can just let her run. And also, it kind of makes sense that the Pirate Queen is just going to be like, nope, I'm going to bail, while the rest of the units take Sartosa itself, because, I mean, this is absolutely what you would expect from a pirate. Seems right on target. Par for the course, etc. Oh, you gotta love Mournguls, though. Alrighty, just gotta disintegrate the last few of those units. Oh, they can pick up a infantry unit in their mouth as well. I hadn't seen that animation before. I gotta pay attention to more of those. Man, what a long battle, though. We've been here for 20 minutes, and definitely a long siege. Granted, it is the capital of a faction and fairly decently defended, plus it had a great positioning for the enemy tower and mortar, but still, damn. It certainly took a while, and down goes the Mourngul Haunter. The last of the zombos will be knocked down as well, and our ghost friend has survived until the end of the battle. Very nice. Alrighty, a heroic victory apparently, probably mostly because I feel like the game predicted something bad, but I no longer remember. It's been too long. Been too long of a battle, but it's not what it predicted. Let's go with that. Probably some kind of defeat, or at the very least a Pyrrhic victory, but I imagine a valiant defeat. Anyway, heroic victory for Grimly, yet another one, and another hard target to add to his list. Ooh, alrighty. I'm really glad that Sartosa actually gave us a proper fight. The positioning on that mortar was monstrously effective, right behind those buildings where none of our artillery could fire back at it, allowing them to deal 21.4k damage. Very, very nice. And we got 8.5k damage in the Mourngul Haunter, quite effective as well, and one of the enemy units of handguns at 8k as well. Nice job to those units, but it was absolutely the enemy mortar that was king. A little bit disappointed that one of our rangers got itself killed, and it absolutely got itself killed by routing directly into the enemy settlement and just running through enemy units until they gunned it down. Silly, but it's okay because we are still intending to replace a decent bit of rangers in this army with longbeards, so that this is a hybrid army. It's not going to be like Thorax or Imrix, because we have enough of those. Don't want to repeat armies. Now we are going to occupy the place. Yeah, it's a yellow territory, but it's not a bad one, so we shall keep it. And oh. Huh, I thought Grimly had defeated Ruinous before, but I guess he only defeated other little mini-lords. That's fine. Alrighty, enemy killed in battle, province secured, pirates current, and I was hoping that we'd be able to build longbeards here right away, but alas, we cannot. But we can build more bolt throwers, which isn't too bad. We are indeed then... Oh, it's gonna take 2 turns. We probably shouldn't wait 2 turns here, mostly because I feel like we need to proceed to Argalis, because these idiots are not going to retake it, because they're incompetent, apparently. And yeah, we'll want to do it ourselves. Ooh. Hello. Looks like we'll be able to get access to their units. I'm really hoping that they build a gunsmith at some... Oh, they do have a gunsmith. It just isn't tier 4 yet. Alright, that's perfect. That means we'll be able to get fire, rain, rock, or... every time. Rocket artillery, Hellstorm rockets from these guys as well. Anyway, with that, we are once again out of time, and I'm gonna have to call the episode here, but we can consider Sartosa pretty much broken with that. Should be able to take Argalis over the next 2 turns, destroy them for good, and then head out to start dealing with Skarbrand, which will be the name of the game. In addition to that, of course, we will also have to start dealing with Imric and with Khemri, so we got a lot of new wars to fight, which should be a fun time, so stay tuned for all that. Don't forget to leave a like and comment, especially for all the new armies that will soon be on the field. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.